Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, so all right.
Well, how you doing?
Just after 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Well done, everybody, for coming here this morning. Thanks. Really, from us, from the Raiders, thank you very much for coming. This is day 6. Yeah, day 6? Yeah. This is day 6 of our trip around the UK, so we're just about halfway there. I haven't been all the way around the top of Scotland, down across to Ireland, just got back here. So this is a bit of a journey. Some of the graves we've been to, there's been no one there, just us, you know, which is a little bit sad. And other locations we've been to, there's been 20 or 30 people there, you know, which is really nice. And but I think this is special, the fact that you've turned out this time in the morning.
Yeah, this is
really, you know what I mean, this is particularly special. And it's for a particularly special guy as well. Stu McLaughlin was an extremely brave soldier. I think if the Falklands hadn't come along, he was destined for a Special Forces career. That's where he was headed. And I was with him on Mount Longdon when he died. So a very brave man indeed. So the Raid of Respect. As you know, this is now our 4th year of doing this. We started in 2019, and it all came about because Jimmy O'Connell, who's a local lad, sadly can't be with us today. Jimmy wrote a book about the battle for Mount Longdon, specifically called 3 Days in June. If you haven't seen that book, I haven't had a look at it yet, then please do find it. It's out on, you can get it on Amazon and all sorts. It is the most technical, precise account of a battle I've ever seen, because it compares what one eyewitness saw to a guy who only stood metres away, and compares what he saw and what he heard and felt and all these things. And I've learned a lot about what people I was alongside with saw and heard, and things that were going on around me that I wasn't aware of, but they were, of course, and one thing and another, and similarly likewise. So anyway, when Jim was doing his research for that book, he rang me one day and asked did I know where Lanchester was in County Durham. Well, me and John drive up that road all the time because we're from Consett, which is the other side of Lanchester. Drive up there to our mum's. So I drove up to Lanchester because he said one of the lads is buried there, could I go and find him, and that's Stuart Lang. So we found Stuart Lang's grave, and we've been looking after that ever since then. But the very fact I've been driving past that graveyard for 30 odd years, not knowing that Stu was only 300 yards away, sort of shocked me a little bit, because I thought, well, there must be other people out there who don't know where their mates are buried. So I started to plot all the 3 paragraves, all 23 of them, including Stu here, on a map. So there's lots of little red dots all over this map. And I thought, oh, that'll make a good bike ride, and we'll do it to raise funds for charity, for the South Atlantic Medal Association. So that was the first raid in 2019. But then, of course, our mates in 2 Para and the Royal Marines and Scots Guards and all said, well, what about our graves, you know? So we started to plot where all the others were. So the same map, lots of other little dots on it, all different colours. And now we know where all the graves are. So the second raid in 2020 was to all the other graves except for 3 Para. And then last year on our raid we put those 2 raids together. So one big raid, and that's exactly what we're doing now. Now last year we did it over 16 days. We've had to squeeze it into 14 days this time. So we've missed a couple of things out. Not graves, we're visiting all the graves. A couple of memorials, for example, we missed those out. Such as we're not going to the NMA this time because we're going to be there in June anyway as part of the Falklands War, I think. So there you go. So that's how the ride came about, and of course we're doing it for the South Atlantic Medal Association. And I'm going to give a little plug here, a shameless plug, because we have some patches and badges and stuff. We're flogging those to help raise funds. So if you want a patch or a pin badge or whatever, then see the lads after this and we can do Right, so you're probably wondering what this wreath's all about. So, this wreath is called the Wreath of Respect, and it normally resides at the Regimental Museum of the Staffordshire Regiment in Lichfield. That's where the trustees and custodians keep it for safekeeping, obviously. Now, this wreath was commissioned in 2014 by an anonymous donor. No one knows who it was, but the idea behind it is that it's a wreath that people can take with them on a pilgrimage when they're going to pay their respects, such as at the Menning Gate in Ypres or elsewhere, and and because it's solid, it's not going to be easily broken or anything like this, and the whole idea behind it is that this wreath travels to demonstrate remembrance and respect and all those good things that we're trying to achieve as part of our ride. So we were asked, would we like to take this on our pilgrimage? And we jumped at the chance. Yeah, absolutely. Now, the wreath itself, it's made of steel, it's heavy, weighs nearly £10, so don't drop it on your foot, whatever you do. 9 poppies around the outside, the exhortation in the centre there, and the exhortation is also on the back in Braille for people who are visually impaired or visually challenged. The significance of the horseshoe is that this horseshoe belonged to one of the horses which towed the gun carriage containing Flanders soil at the end of World War I, because the unknown soldier, when he was interred in Westminster Abbey, he is interred in Flanders soil. So that's the significance of that horseshoe, and it also is meant to represent all service animals who, died in service of the country as well. So that's that. Now, the whole idea behind this is the trustees want us to introduce the wreath to as many people as possible, for you to touch it, feel it and hold it, and therefore become part of its journey as it, goes on the pilgrimage. So we'll do that after we've made our act of remembrance, so that's okay. And we do know that the wreath has never been to the Falklands, so we're hoping to put that right at the end of this year. Charlie and I intend going down to the Falklands in November, fingers crossed, and on a couple of borrowed motorbikes we're going to ride to the last 15 graves that are on land in the Falklands, because obviously most of our guys are at sea, most of our fallen, but so we'll hopefully take this wreath with us in November as well. So that's the plan. So there we go. We'll pass this round when we've done our act of remembrance. Now, just to mention Stu McLaughlin again, like I said, Stu was an extremely extremely capable NCO, an outstanding soldier, was destined for a career in Special Forces had he not been taken on Mount Longdon that night. Stu was instrumental in maintaining the momentum of the assault on Mount Longdon, certainly within B Company, and at one point is reported by several people to have shouted, "Come on lads, follow me, I'm bulletproof," and went forward. And of course the lads who were with him were amazed and just followed him. Now, if that's an example of leadership, that is quite outstanding in itself. We'll make our act of remembrance now.
They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. And they're going down in the sun, and in the morning we will remember them.
We will remember them. Thank you, everybody.
Anyway.
They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We'll remember them.
Thank you, guys. His daughter Danielle came along as well, and that was really special to meet Danielle and her new little baby boy, which of course was Ronald's grandson. You know, that was really nice to meet them. It was quite a special moment. Anyway, right, so we'll
Take a pic of the.
yeah,
the
if
respect.
anyone wants to get pictures, then we'll do that now.
Yeah, it's on it.